there exists a constant battle for survival. Welcome, my friends, to Atomics on a Friday, a fascinating journey into the realm of cybersecurity, data, and atomic testing. Today, we shall embark on an adventure with two seasoned experts who have roamed the cyber wilderness for years, honing their skills and strategies. Paul Michaud, a master of cyber shenanigans, has an uncanny ability to unravel the most perplexing digital mysteries. Alongside him is Michael Haag, a cyber threat connoisseur who has devoted his life to understanding and mitigating the ever-present dangers lurking in the shadows of cyberspace. Together, they shall guide us through the complex tapestry of this digital ecosystem, revealing hidden treasures and secrets that will undoubtedly leave us with a newfound respect for the world of cybersecurity. So, dear viewers, let us dive deep into the heart of this wondrous realm, where the forces of good and evil collide in an eternal struggle, and let us explore what it truly means to protect our delicate digital existence. Join us on Atomics on a Friday.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome.
We're back.
To Atomics on a Friday. We made it to December 1st. I had to double check the day because days are hard.
Well, it's an important day. It's the first day of the month, which means coffee advent calendars and whiskey advent calendars are full swing.
Yeah. I didn't think of a whiskey one. Did you get a whiskey one too?
No, I didn't do one this year. I did one last year. I'll be honest. The coffee one's easier. The whiskey one, like, you get to like the 13th day of crushing a whiskey, like, it gets brutal. It's almost like a chore. And a couple times I like skipped a day and like had to double up the other day.
Oh, man.
It was fun. Definitely could not do it consistently for 25 days of it, but coffee all day.
That's hilarious. I didn't even. No, I would totally double up, triple up. That would be so bad. All right. Well, we have our new landing image. It looks really cool.
It's fancy.
I like the colors. But yeah, we have a special guest today. I'm really excited. I'm sure that's why everybody's here.
Probably the only reason why people are here, to be honest.
If that is a text-to-speech intro, going to need a link. Oh, yeah. It was our good friend. We had an intern generate that for us. Looks like Nas, is your camera dead?
My camera is dead. Okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, it's dead.
Am I alive again?
Nope.
Not yet.
So when I disable it, I become alive. Good,
yeah,
not good?
Nothing. It's blank.
Okay, 1 second.
There. There you were. Now you're gone. There you are. Even if it's a still image, that'll be
yes.
Yes,
I can fix it. We're still at the start. I can fix it.
Yep, you got time. You got like 45 minutes.
Is it okay now? No? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. We're good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay-ish. Okay-ish. That's fine. Yeah. We're used to pushing to prod. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Good times. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. I know there's like, I was gonna say there's like a lot of hours in the day, but truly there's like, you're like nighttime over there. So thanks. Is it?
It's fine. Yeah, it is 7 p.m.
Oh man. Okay.
But the sun sets at 4, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yes. Well, lots of content today, so we'll just jam in. My name is Michael Haag, threat researcher, and just go down the line.
I'm Paul, senior threat hunter over at Unit 42. One of these days, I'll remember who I am and where I work. Today is not one of those days, though.
Okay, so Nas, threat researcher, and Sigma. How do you extraordinaire? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, I put our handles on there, and then we also have our little fancy Atomics on a Fry account that our intern still needs to fix. We'll get there.
Did day not fit? Was it too long?
Yeah, it was too long.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can have 500 words in a tweet. but we can't
Yeah.
get an extra 3 characters for the handle. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
I see where the priorities lie.
Yeah, maybe if you pay for it, I don't know. All right, cool. Well,
Let's go.
I'm stoked. Nas, you should be able to control the keys if you want. Like if you hit your arrow or hit your mouse on the top, you'll be able to move if you want. But yeah, so I mean the whole consensus of today is we're just gonna jam on Sigma and all the things Sigma. So we brought Nas in to help us journey through and look at all the cool things.
All right. I cannot move the slides, but it's fine.
Okay.
We can go through them. Yeah. No worries.
Cool.
So, yeah. Sigma.
Do you want to start with Sig? Yeah. Do you want to start with Sig Converter?
Oh yeah. I want to give like a small background for everybody who doesn't know Sigma, just as a start.
Oh yeah. That's a good start. We should probably do that. Level set.
And to anyone who's here, since we're gonna touch some topics, if you have any question, leave them and we'll answer them. So, and if my voice breaks, well, let me repeat myself. If you don't hear what I say from my internet or whatever. So, yeah. So Sigma, what is Sigma? Sigma is basically a language, an agnostic language, a vendor agnostic language. So, a lot of people know CMs, knows EDR. Every EDR has its own language and has its own structure. But in a case where, let's say, in 2011 you bought McAfee, and in 2018 you changed to Splunk, and suddenly all your detections are not usable because Splunk uses a different query, and perhaps that creates like an issue for that. So Sigma is here to solve this problem. Is that it lets you write these detection rules in a vendor agnostic way, and you can convert them to whatever backend you can create. Basically, there are open source backends, but a lot of vendors internally, like MSSPs, MDRs, have their own like created backends. Yeah, and as Mike is sharing, like the website, if you go to SigmaHQ.io, yeah, you can find a lot of documentation around Sigma, and you can start learning around there. Yeah, but a couple of months ago, we've released like a public converter because like the community needed one, a free open source one. And yeah, that's called sigconverter.io. And we've been shipping a couple of updates here and there. And yeah, let me share my screen and walk you through it. Share screen. Okay.
Buttons everywhere.
How does the internet work again? I have 70,000 times.
70,000, not enough.
One moment. Yeah, I have it on Firefox, but I have like 100 tabs on Chrome. So.
I do have it up if you want me to share it.
Huh?
I have it up if you want me to share it, or you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I got it.
You're on.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically the idea of Sigma is that you have something like in the new PySigma converter, like a lot of people might see like SigmaHQ and might say, okay, if you go to SigmaHQ, you might see some rules here, and you might be wondering how to convert them. So Sig converter is the answer. In the Sigma terminology, there is what we call a backend, a format, and a pipeline. So a backend, you can see we support a couple of backends on Sig converter, the Azure, Carbon Black, whatever, Splunk. As Mike paid me to do this, so I'll be sharing around Splunk. No, he did not. It was a joke. Okay, so yeah, basically the Sigma rule, you copy it from whatever. And let's take a process creation one, just to pick something shorter, and it gets converted to your favorite query language. Okay, in this case, Splunk. So what are the current updates? We've added something called the pipeline. So I've shared recently like a tweet around how to use these pipelines, but these pipelines, what they let you do is they let you like convert or modify the output of this query. So you can basically do that on the fly. Let me grab an example.
How many backends are supported today?
Currently, speaking of, you can go to, you can go to. So if you use like the Sigma CLI, there is this JSON file called the PySigma plugin directory. And you can see all the list of the supported backends and pipelines. Like you can see,
it's quite a bit.
Maybe, maybe 12. I don't know. And there is a list somewhere.
Is Nextron or Sigma Group managing the backends, or are they kind of like vendor provided, or?
No. But so back in the day in the Sigma C times, so SigmaHQ, like the open source community, like Stock Prime or whatever, contributed a lot of backends. Okay, and those backends were hosted under SigmaHQ. So the issue happened is when people submitted the backend, it felt under the SigmaHQ repository, and the maintenance was for us to do. But we've learned our lessons, because then the backends didn't get updated often. So nowadays, there are some backends like the Splunk one, which is maintained by SigmaHQ, open source, like Thomas maintains an Elastic and a Splunk backend. And you can see IBM maintain their own.
Oh, cool.
If you go to IBM, they maintain their own, and you see they are still updating it. And we list here everyone. Like if you want to report an issue, it's listed here, who to contact, who to, for example, the Cortex is supported by our guy 7 Red Violin. I believe we know that guy. So the Sentinel ones, that's basically what the current backends are. So let me just grab an example. Where is my? I'm not ready. I was ready for the template, but I wasn't ready for the.
That's okay.
Okay, no worries. It'll be quick.
No, yeah, when you put this in and get it ready to rock, you should click the share button so we can see the share button work too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here you go. Let's take like a basic transformation. So the idea is, once you have a pipeline, you can apply something called a transformation. And this transformation is really cool. Like you have an ID for it, and then you have a type, which is called a field mapping. So in this case, I'm having something called an event ID. So here I'm using an image. Let's say in your CM, you use like a different thing, but an image. You call it, I don't know, Mike. And I know you do that internally at Splunk. Every field is named Mike. So like the image here is converted to Mike. And this is basically the transformation. The idea behind it is, now what you can do is you can use this share button, and it automatically copy it, and you can share it or save it, and the pipeline is saved with it. So that's step number 1 in this like pipeline cool thing. So once you do that, basically you can save this as a template, and every time you want to convert a rule, you have the pipeline ready, and it's ready for your environment. So that's one of the like interesting things we added recently to the SIG converter. And now, if you look at the domain, something cool we did today, Mike, is we created.
I didn't do it. I disapproved it.
Jose did it. Jose did it. Yeah. So basically, the idea is now we hosted because in PySigma there are versions, and this version of PySigma might not support like newer backends, because it's like a little bit old. Because backend, if you see in the plugin directory, whatever it is, you see this PySigma version. So these are specific versions that this specific backend is supporting. So now we added a beta SIG converter. We still didn't tweet about it, but it's supporting the latest version of PySigma. And this latest version is really cool, because we can use something that's called a post-processing query. As we've seen here, we're using transformations, but a post-processing query. So the idea behind it, there is a blog on the Sigma blog, but if you go read about it, so if you look at any detection pipeline, like in Splunk, for example, you can use safe searches. So safe searches in Splunk is used here, but it's not very flexible. This post-processing thingy allows you to, after conversion, to apply something like to post-process the rule. And the really cool thing about it is that it allows templating using Jinja. So you have access to the rule content via like a dictionary. So you can type rule and you have the ID and title and whatever. So if we go to the plugins, let me do like this, Elas Alert. So there is no Elas Alert backend, correct? Yes.
Nope.
But
okay.
If we use this template, we can cheat it in a way to create a template that will generate the output of an Elas Alert. So now, with this template provided by one of our SigmaHQ colleague, Frank, or François, is French. So you can use this and basically convert any rule to an Elas Alert backend without having the backend in the first place. So you can literally copy this and post it in your Elas Alert configuration or whatever. And now you have a backend without having an actual backend.
That's
and
cool.
You can do, and you can do that all from the web. You can still use the share button, use the copy button, use the whatever button.
So as a consumer of Sig Converter, should I use beta or should I use regular, or just depend on my?
It would depend. So, so basically you would use the beta for the latest and greatest. But if your backend isn't supported, you go to the previous version just to find your backend. For example, the Azure or Microsoft Defender 365 backend isn't supported yet with the latest. So you cannot use the templating. But in the future, say the Microsoft will update, it will automatically ship in the Sig Converter. Like we're still keeping it up to date. And you can really like play, you can generate any format. If like when we released this feature, I tweeted, if you remember, I took the Elastic format, like took a random rule, stripped it out and replaced it with variables. And now suddenly I have the Elastic output just using a template. And you can really be creative. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, that's the coolest part. And what we did, my colleague, what he did is now we ship a VS Code extension. If you didn't know, so where is
tell us more. We want to know about VS Code extensions.
We want to hear more. Let me share again.
We want to understand how you placed it into the project, into VS Code, and what else is hiding in the back end of it now.
Where is post-processing? Okay, here it is. See my screen?
Oh, yeah, let me pause. There you go.
Okay.
Can also move us down here so we're not in the way.
Yeah, so if you take any rule, now, like the VS Code extension would give you like this, a Sigma language mode. So it detects it via a title, and it applies some semantics. Like, I don't know, let's make the title very, very long. You see, it underlines it as yellow because we don't allow that in SigmaHQ. Like very long title are like not recommended. And the VS Code extension also gives you like a auto-generated UUID. Recently we added, there is like this field in Sigma. So if two rules are very similar, or one rule is derived from the other, or this rule is like inspired by an obsolete rule, so you can go and use this. It auto-completes like a related field, and it gives you like an option. So what this rule is related to which other rule in what manner? So is it similar? Is it obsolete? Is it renamed? Is it derived? If you say derived, and you copy the rule of the other ID. And yeah, it gives you like autocomplete for status. For the date, it generates the date, blah, 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 blah. It understands tags. Like you can do add tag, by the way, and you have all the MITRE thingy with that description, and you can select it and it gets added. And yeah, recently an update was like adding, if you, where is it? Yeah, log source, yeah. You can see in the category, you have all the category of Sigma without actually looking them up. So that's an interesting one. But if you look at the top, there is this SIG converter button.
Oh.
If you click it,
Nice.
voila.
Look at
Voila.
that. Then you can copy the share link and ship it. Give it to coworkers.
Exactly. So you can copy it, you can do whatever. And the backend is configured via, like if you go to this and use extension setting, you can select the backend that supports this. And next week or the week after, you will be able to set a local instance of SIG converter. Like you see this URL for the Sigma search engine. We got feedback that some people host their own SIG converter because you can do that. And yeah, you would specifically like mention, hey, I use this URL and please convert everything online for extra privacy.
That's cool.
Everyone loves that. Yeah.
I didn't realize the VS Code. I didn't realize the extension was that extensive in all the variables and options.
Yeah, and we're working on it. But in the future, maybe that we will create a language server. It's on the horizon. A language server would give you like a very, very powerful control over exactly the format. Like you can offer like autocomplete on some stuff, do semantics, do syntax checks. But that's the future. Yeah, but it's really cool. If you use Sigma or whatever, you can actually like use this. It auto generates. I don't know if I showed this, but let me see if it still works. Oh no, where is it? There is. I don't know how to use it. Where is it? New rule. It's called.
Got it.
New rule. Okay. You see when you do new rule?
Cool. Yeah.
It gives you a template. Yeah, and it grabs this author from the configuration. So if you have a set of authors working, I don't know, Red Canary or Splunk, you can write it directly like that. Cool.
That is super cool. As we were writing this, I was just reminded that we had a Streamlit app that we had created a while back.
True. Yes. Where is the Streamlit? Yeah, we did a lot.
It's one of the 87 projects Mike's been holding on to.
I thought we shared it, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, we shared it, but where is shop sharing? Share again.
Is it documentation tools? Sigma? Nope, that's something else. I don't remember what's that. Okay.
I'll share it.
There it is. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I forgot about this. Okay.
So many projects. Mike, like children, which project I'm working on? Yeah, cool.
Oh, this one was really cool.
Yeah, this one was created in the idea behind it was like we wanted to make it really, really easy, because once we did like the video with John Hammond a couple of months ago or whatever, we saw a lot of interest in people creating Sigma. So reading documentation, like getting into detection engineering might not be that obvious. So this will let you create or modify Sigma rules like via a GUI interface. And we will talk about the OpenAI thing. So yeah, we did it and forgot about it. I actually forgot. Now that I see it, I remember.
No, we do too many things. It's in here though.
Yeah. So you can have all the field that we talked about with the VS Code extension are all here, like the related ID, the related type are also auto-completed. The status is auto-complete. And if you want to get started, there is like a tab. If you want to learn, like, because we've said like Sigma is an abstraction over logging, like log sources. And every log source you see in Sigma, like if we pick a random rule, or is it update an existing rule, you see this rule is using like Django, and you might be wondering what does it mean? Well, we have it here. So if you see like product windows and clipboard, it's actually mapping by default like to event ID 24. This is the assumption from Sysmon. So if you're actually writing a rule for clipboard, it's being written to this. And if you're writing for the ETW, it's like you see here, file rename. File rename is only supported by Microsoft Windows kernel file. So if you're subscribed to this, like if you go to Sigma, you might find like 3 or 5 rules using this file rename. You need to map it to a specific keyword from the ETW to be able to see it. But yeah, it's here for everyone to use. And yeah, you can modify whatever you like. You can add, apply, and you have it. And you can validate it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some real power. Yes.
Yeah. The validation right now, it's using like a couple of tests from the SigmaHQ project, but we will integrate like because PySigma, the library, has a validation like framework. Like everything you see, the detection section, the references, the whatever, everything is following a standard. And that standard is being validated by a testing framework. And every test is currently being like 100% implemented. So all the tests that respect the specification, you will find them there. You can generate the YAML to contribute, and yeah, it will take you to the contribution guide. Happy things. And if you click, it will copy the rule automatically to second version, and it will be converted. Yeah, and it will be converted automatically to your favorite backend. This one is one of the coolest buttons out there.
This is one of the coolest Streamlit apps out there.
Yeah. We're still getting visitors, and we haven't updated it, but we're still getting visitors. So there is interest, and we're gonna add more. So there is this thing we didn't talk about, but I'm gonna add a event logging. You see in Sigma when there is a quality assurance, the quality assurance that we use, the baselining, I'm gonna allow you to search on that. So like it's a mini CM. So when you want to verify your false positives, you can use the baseline to make sure that your rule isn't actually matching on anything benign. So to at least have some kind of confidence to, yeah.
Is that going to use the EVTX project?
Yes.
Cool. That's awesome.
EVTX baseline.
Yeah. Nice. Yep.
Yes. This one. Yeah. And you can contribute.
Cool.
And for whoever who is interested, you can take a look at there is a guy, we build a PowerShell script to enable the logging, and you can use like this website, Ninite or whatever you call it, to download these softwares, and you just click for half an hour. Click, generate some good logs, and by the end, we provide like a script, PowerShell script. Where is it? Activate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, here it is. You see this? To export the events. So this PowerShell will export the events and zip them, and you just need to contact one of us and you can donate it. And this is one of the ways we make sure like Sigma rules are actually validating without having like enterprise level telemetry. Okay, we're not being sponsored by Palo Alto yet, hopefully. Yeah, but that's the point. Whoever is hearing this, Snap Attack maybe. I saw someone from Snap Attack is here maybe. So yeah, Snap Attack sponsor. give us 3 logs.
Open for sponsorship.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of the cool things. Logs needed, exactly. T-shirts.
We can scroll it. I can scroll it. There we go. Whee. No, yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah,
that's amazing, man. There's a lot that just happened in like 2 minutes, right? Like Streamlit, SIG converter, beta, the project, plugins. There's a lot. So yeah, EVTX baseline. That's super sweet. Tell us a little bit about the AI integration. Oh, I also wanted to mention this Streamlit app completely free. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. It's just
100%.
chilling out there on the internet. You can,
Yep,
you can click the Git button up at the top right. It'll take you to the GitHub repo, and I think it's on. Yeah, it's probably hiding on your screen, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't see it because but it's available.
Yeah.
Because I'm admin, maybe that's why. Because
here's the link.
Yeah,
I already had it.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah, you can use the link. You can host it locally if you like, and you can use it.
Yeah.
And if you have ideas, ping and But if you see like the general gist of this, what we've talked about right now is that there is a lot of power to it. You can write detection rules with ease with many different formats. Like you use VS Code, you use GUI, you use whatever you like, and convert them easily. And with the templating feature, you can do a lot more. Yeah. So what's next on the agenda? Should I talk about correlation?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was just going to mention the AI thing. You can pop.
The AI.
Yep.
I will not use my own API key.
Yes,
but
not live.
Yeah, not live, but here is one for you. Test it. It works. Trust me. But if you use this, what's cool is we did like a model, and you can actually look at the model if you look at the source code. And this will automatically generate a description and a title based on the detection logic. So if you have like a Sigma rule, and one of the hardest things while writing detections, in my opinion, is actually writing what the detection does in a cool way for the analyst. It's really hard to find a good title sometimes. I spend 10 minutes on a detection and 10 other minutes on the title, just to make it sound like an alert or make it sound like it's, I don't know, dangerous. So AI might help you with that. So a description, because one of the ethos we're going by is to be very accurate in the description of the detection. So meaning that in detection engineering, a lot of times you hear, oh, this bypass that, this bypass that. And depending on the log source you use, the level of bypass or the level of evasion you can achieve, is it ephemeral? Is it rubbish detection? So we try to be very accurate on that. So if a rule, for example, is using an image called mimikatz.exe, and it's only using that, you cannot say it detects mimikatz. You should say it detects mimikatz based on PE or image name or PE metadata, just to give it the correct impression, even though you may make it a high rule, which is true. It's high because you can say, oh, mimikatz is very dangerous keyword. But we try to avoid creating this illusion that we're detecting something that we're not. So this is why the AI really helps you, is that it gives you like a starting point for a good description based on your detection logic that you can modify to get a result. Yeah. It's free.
It's free. Yep, I posted the link on, these are all recorded. They stored on LinkedIn, they get stored on YouTube and Twitch for some time on Twitch. But the link to the repo is here on Naz's Sigma
fork
repo. Yep, fork. Yep. And it's under like stuff, Streamlit. And then this particular line 22 is the prompt using GPT-3.5. So if you were curious, you can go there and check it out.
Yes. Yep. Cool.
Cool. All right.
All right.
After all that,
that's it.
What else do you got, Nas? I like this screenshot. I was like, here's Sig Converter. Here's beta. What's the difference? Anyway, I was laughing.
We'll add, we talked about it. We'll add like a cool logo of beta.
Yes. Oh, logo. Yes. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So VS Code, we talked about VS Code.
VS Code. Cool. Yep. All right. Now
we're
here.
Yeah, correlation, finally. Okay. So it's been a long time coming. And we've talked about the specification internally. What is the best way? What is the easiest way to write Sigma correlation? So the idea at a gist, one of the biggest criticism of the Sigma lovers is that Sigma is very event-based, meaning that you cannot do behavioral detection. Well, that is true to some extent, because let's just remind everyone that Sigma C supported correlation, and Sigma C is deprecated. And there are a lot of vendors who use Sigma who have their own implementation of correlation, like Sophos, like everyone internally, like Checkpoint, everyone has a correlation-based version. And at SigmaHQ, which is the main repository for Sigma, like everyone can host their own, but we try to prevent the use of rules that do not convert for everyone easily. Because one thing we've noticed is that a lot of people just do a git clone, grab 3,000 rules, convert, oh shit, false positives. This is really bad. And they start criticizing Sigma because that's not how, and that was like one of the reasons we created the release packages, and we offered that script so that people can fine tune, because most people I know take process creation, like the average guy will take process creation. But if you take the other, like process access or image load, or the idea behind it isn't to use them directly, it's to ingest them, give yourself some time to see what your environment reacts, and filter. We give you the tool, like with PySigma, we've talked about the template. You can use filtering and give yourself the time to filter it out. So yeah, but the missing link is that correlation would give you the benefit of writing more advanced detection at the SigmaHQ level, so that everyone would benefit. Okay, that was a nice introduction. I didn't write that. I was improvising.
Yeah, that is great. Because I mean, the first thing I see here is like this correlation's name. You know, looking for discovery tool in succession.
Yep.
Which I think the first one, who am I, was such a hot topic. So it's a good choice.
Okay. Yeah, it was a
Teamers
meme
everywhere are
choice.
jealous.
Yeah. Yes.
They wish they could just run it.
Let me share my screen.
You're gonna share. Okay. All right, here we go.
Just
We're
in
in.
case. Yeah, I'm gonna share because I don't know if it looks zoomed enough.
Enhanced.
Okay, it's looking
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
Okay, good. Yeah. So now what we try to do is that in correlation right now, we try to make it as simple as possible. So we didn't try to introduce like a new query. We made it very, very simple. So if you think about it, correlation is about correlating events. So,
Yep.
And who generates the events is the Sigma rule. So at the basis is that there is a meta rule, as you can see here, this one,
Yep.
that has this special tag. Instead of detection, it has correlation. Okay. Then there are types of correlation that are currently supported. If you check out the slide, can you check out the slide? Sorry.
Yep.
The next
Next
one.
slide. There it is.
Yes. You see this? There is event count, value count, and temporal proximity, and field name aliases. So typical correlation would be to count up something like does this happen like 5 times, or to count events, or most common one is to find temporal proximity between events. Like you give it a time span, say, hey, in this span of 10 minutes, does this and this and this and that happen? Okay, let's keep that in mind. And aliases gives you the ability to alias fields to be able to group them by, like similar in Splunk or similar to any other major CM, like Sentinel. Okay,
That's cool.
so
Yeah.
back to the VS Code. Yeah.
Will
So
these be
here,
added? Will these be added? Okay, so I think the idea initially is to have it added into Aurora, right?
Yeah, initially, like Aurora is just an implementation of it, but
Okay.
like right now, it is implemented to 85%, 90% in PySigma. So
Okay.
here's the thing. Like, or even Aurora is 90%. It's not even complete in Aurora, but it's just an implementation of it. Like similar to how somebody would implement a backend. But the tools for backend creators, like a unified tool set, like the library, right now there would be a new class in PySigma called Sigma Correlation that you can import. And then in Splunk, which will be like the first supported backend, when we'll announce it via the blog, Splunk will be the backend. This is all Mike, by the way. He's paying for all of this. He's the only sponsor.
Atomics on a Friday is.
Yeah, but the first backend would be Splunk, because actually Thomas works with Splunk. That's why. So he will like implement it, and he maintains it. So it will be the default supported one. But the idea behind it is that anyone who has a backend, like the Elastic one or the Microsoft Defender one, like the Microsoft Defender supports the join operator, and you can do some pipe stuff. I don't know, KQL. Okay. So you can right now implement.
I know a course that you can take if you need a reference. I can hook you up. Just hit me up later. DM.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So right now, the backend creator for Microsoft Defender will be able to create that logic of Microsoft and translate it into a vendor agnostic way in Sigma. That's the interesting part, and everyone else can do their own implementation according to the spec. Because I remember some vendor, I forgot the name actually, who implemented because the spec, the official correlation spec, exists on a branch on the Sigma specification repo, V2, but it's not officially released. But some vendor read it and implemented their own version. But right now, everyone supports it. So go back. Now you have the correlation. So you will write a rule, simple rule, say this is correlation, and then you specify the type. Classic type is temporal. Then comes the rules. These are the rules that will be referenced or used in this specific correlation. So here you have two options. You can either reference an external existing rule from SigmaHQ,
cool,
or for ease of reading, like let's say you're creating something very unique, like a CVE or something. Like you want to correlate, like recently there was a CVE that used a GET request to get the token and then use a POST request. So if you go by like the standard thing is, you wouldn't find it because GET requests are standalone, POST requests are standalone. So instead of writing that rule externally and then using the idea, you can use this separator, a YAML separator, to create a standard Sigma rule, like how you used to create it. So this is like a Sigma rule. The only difference right now is that this name is like a human readable name that you can use to reference. So for example, this who am I execution is referenced here, and this ping execution is referenced here too. And these are like basic Sigma rules. I can go, for example, search for who am I, and let's say, for example, who am I group discovery. Let's say I want to use this because I found that this is used. I can literally go do this and use it like this, for example.
Nice.
Okay, so you can do that, and then
your time span, you can make it as wide.
As wide now, it depends on the implementation. We know the time span is a memory issue. If you do 1 day, you're screwing yourself, because then anyway, implementation issues of correlation. We don't need to get into that, but like we're also thinking of that. Like if you submit a rule in SigmaHQ, we wouldn't allow like 1 day correlation or like very, very aggressive correlation. That would be like a more personal correlation for your organization, because these would destroy a product. Like if you do a 1 day for a large condition, perhaps it would take too long. But then you would use a group by, and that's it. Life is good. If you do that right now in Aurora, and by the way, there is this option. I think we're calling it silent, but as we know, when you use these two, you have to ask yourself, like, the question is, do I want to have partial matching as alerts, or do I only want the alert, like the final alert, the correlation, as an alert? Or you want the partial matches, like you want this individual rule to trigger, or you don't want them, and you can use like the silent. By default it's false, so it shows. But if you don't want to show partial matches, you say true, and partial matches wouldn't show. And if you go to, where is it? Where is my screen?
Yeah, there's more.
Present. Now I'm gonna show like the event log. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Just
an event log.
Just an event log of how it would look like. So as we've seen, the rule is looking for who am I ping in 1 minute. I don't want to share my whole screen, but if I executed like ping who am I, you can see that I did that just before the start of the presentation, just to test. But you can see like the correlation is found, and this is already implemented in Aurora. It's not yet like prod. This is a build, local build, but this would be like the first implementation. And since Aurora is free, the idea behind it is that we want people to be able to write this correlation in practice and test them. Like in a lab, you just start writing this correlation and have an ability to test them real life, even though you might have a backend, of course, but we know that backend support will take a little bit. Like Splunk would be supported, but let's say you're writing Sigma and you want to contribute something to Elastic, you might write it on correlation right now. See it works via Aurora. And the fun part about Aurora is that you can use like all the ETW stuff. So there is a config file. If you go to, like when you download Aurora, you can use this. Where is it? Window correlation. Yes, you can see this. So where is my screen?
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Hello. Okay. So when you download when you download Aurora, you would see like this config file. It's called log source. And as we've talked about in Sigma, there is this product and service that we use in the log source. And in Aurora, it uses this. So if you have an interesting ETW you want to monitor for, or you want to write event log for, let's say one of the interesting ETW is WMI, okay? Because the default WMI isn't like the event log, doesn't generate a lot of stuff. But if you look at the ETW, it actually generates the actual IW WebM queries, which is very interesting. Like if you do that, and it will detect regardless of you use WMIC or even if you use the API. Like even if you use the API like Rubius or whichever tool, you will actually catch it via that. And some people do enumeration via WMI. Like you can use enumeration via WMI, as we've talked about with that blog, and you can start writing and correlating these events in a nicer way. Like let's say a classic form of like correlation would be a process spawning from a suspicious location, but 1 second later, 2 seconds later, it performs WMI enumeration. That might be interesting, okay? And you can do that using Aurora and using like Sigma correlation. And the idea behind it is now this correlation, even though it's supported, but now it's vendor agnostic. So everyone can use it. Once you write it in SigmaHQ and you contribute it, you can use it in Splunk, you can use it blah, 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 blah. And even with those advanced things that we know that CMs might support, you can use the templating feature to complement the resting of the missing correlation features right now. Like you might do some statistics. In Splunk, you might do T-stats, and you might group some events, and you can like complement yourself with the templating features to offer up like a full picture of how you might do the detection. Yes.
Yeah, because we do use a standard. We try to use a standard for our content, where it always has the same stuff in the buy clause. So that would be really powerful. At least converting things.
Cool.
Dude, thank you so much. That was a lot.
Yeah, no worries.
It's going to take me like an hour to figure out all the little places on YouTube to mark.
So many things.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and click through things forever.
Yeah, and one thing I just remembered when I saw this screenshot, I included it because of this, is that in that Sigma correlation, you can include correlation within correlation. So let's say you want a more powerful data source. Like you want the result of a correlated event and use that inside another correlated event, which is very common. Like when you do like very advanced stuff, you can do that. Just use a separator. You can like write two simple rules. Say I want to detect like a basic failed login. You can say I want an event count for 4625, which is failed, and then 14624, and I use that result to for next look at RDP logs from those events. So I know that the guy was testing type logon 10 or type logon whatever. He was failing, and then correlating it with the event log for a terminal session, and look exactly at those things. So you can do like correlation within correlation to have a more powerful thing. Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful. I can see a lot of people benefiting from correlations here.
Yeah, and finally,
Awesome.
maybe the naysayer will stop. Maybe. but this doesn't support that. This anyway.
I enabled all 3,000 and correlations are not working. I don't know why.
Fun
Need
times.
to download more RAM.
Yes.
Yeah, download.
I got a website for you.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, I think our last slide is just about some of your other endeavors that are happening out there. I hear you're
mostly
a Lua
my
fan.
things.
Yeah, my thing. No.
My things.
These are like
the mic farm, we call it.
only 1/10 of Mike's total projects. There's like 8
these
more
are the
slides.
public
We won't
ones.
have time. Yeah.
They're all hidden. You can't see them.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, you should talk about the ASR Gen, the blog that you shared today. We still have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
I need to like actually share ASR Gen blog.
Sorry, I took all the time.
Gosh,
That was the idea.
it was all for you.
I added sentences depending on the time, by the way. I looked at the time, used filler words.
Filler words. Yes, that's what you were doing. Is asking GPT earlier. How do I add more filler words? I mean, biggest thing on here is Death Raven Monks, which is a subtweet of things. Which we're part of Death Raven Monks now.
Yes.
Naz and I, obviously, we work on LOL drivers together, so that's where the X-Files themed graphics come from.
Look at my eyes. Look at my.
Yes, and then our AOC eyes. And then we like to talk about Lua, because Lua is the language that you probably forgot about, but most everybody uses, and every defender needs to now learn it.
Probably in your security stack, and you just don't even realize it.
Yes. And every APT is using it to some degree that nobody knows about. It's on every embedded device that you can't remember. And then ASR Gen. Probably the hotness on ASR Gen release today was the ability to create a group policy object. So if you head over to ASR Gen. Yes. Oh, I love that. Did you put that, or did I? But yes. Who paid Ryan? Thank you, Ryan. That is genius. Yes, we need that. Yes. We should probably do 30 days of Lua.
Yeah, I thought we still have to do a offensive Lua session.
That we do, because
did we do that?
Somebody dropped. We talked about it. We just haven't.
Oh yeah.
We got to do it.
Well, I'll drop it. Hold on.
We got to do it. Like I mentioned, the hotness is the group policy object generator. Basically, it'll create the object for you in group policy, so you can click block or whichever one, and name it whatever, generate, and then just run this, and it will populate an object in group policy, and just makes it easy. It abstracts that whole process of like going into group policy, GPMC, and like trying to like fumble across IDs, because like
nobody remembers GUIDs.
Initially, it's like, sitting here going, okay, I'll copy this one. Which one was that? And you're like, it's chaos. So yeah, it just abstracts away this little tool. And I'm sure there's like hundreds of tools out there that people have generated, but this one's cool. I like it because it's in Streamlit.
It's point and click.
What do you mean? It's the coolest. There are no tools like this. And don't down. By the way, you downplayed the GPU version. Let me sell it for you, for whoever is listening. The GPU thingy isn't just a normal thing. By the way, it's very, very powerful. Basically, if you try to use ASR in your life, you know the pain. And it's really good. Like, you should use it. But how to use it is a different story. So Mike, bridge that gap by introducing this. And with this GPU thingy now, like just imagine you could have paid Microsoft thousands of dollars. Mike, like now Mike reduced the created the market with $0. Like, yeah. It's really powerful because now you can deploy it in prod and have it actually working. Like start monitoring, start auditing, seeing what you should block, what you should leave at audit, what you should, etc. Like it's not some random thing. It's very, very powerful. I would say.
It really is. Yeah, and I mean, I went down the road. I talk about it in the blog. I went down the road of like, let's try to actually take a backup of an object and read that, and then try to. Yeah, that was chaos. There's no way. I haven't figured that part out yet. But I say that now. But I already wrote like half the code for it. I just haven't finished it. But if you're, for funsies, if you want to play with it, you can upload a PAL file here and it'll read it out for you. It's kind of cool. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. So, especially the support me.
Yes, you can. I signed up for GitHub sponsors. It's in there. I don't know. It's kind of neat. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's like you see how you probably are using Mark Russinovich to it. You're probably using Mike to it. So somewhere in your stack that was Mike influence.
Yes.
Here's the funny thing. Most of your EDR vendors that are telling you about those vulnerable drivers, guess where they're pulling that from?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's be real.
And yeah, speaking of that, we just pushed a couple new ones into Lil drivers thanks to some contributors. Let me find my buttons. Last share, because Lil drivers always deserves a little mention.
Always.
But yeah, so we just pushed, I think it's DC Protect, right? Yeah, DC Protect. And I think
DC Protect.
What's that one?
This is some rootkit that's being shipped with, the search is not working.
Do it in the main search site.
Told you, Jose.
Where is Jose? Invite him right now.
I know. We're going to fix this live. I'll do this. I'll share this tab instead. There we go. So yeah, we received this.
You can grab the ID, Mike. Grab the ID from the YAML and copy it on the URL.
That's an easy. Or I could always just go to the recent PRs and we can just click the button.
Yep.
That's too easy. We need to struggle a little bit
more. Does the ID work? Have you tried the ID?
What do you mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. I see what you mean. Stand by.
Yeah.
Go back. Share this. Fix this. Let me. Oh, what's going on here?
Refresh. Click on any random one and replace the URL.
Yes. Click on rando. Come back up here. Here we go.
It's not working.
Oh, did it not generate?
Life of a low driver fan.
Man.
That's it. Somebody call Jose, get him on the phone.
Yes. Well, anyway, we did push it. And here it is.
I clicked merge. I remember that.
Yep. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, lots of projects, lots of tools, lots of things. It's been fun. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us and dropping all this knowledge.
New stuff.
Thanks for having me.
There's a lot of going on, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And we will meet again when we have the Atomic Red Team very soon. Atomic Red Team integration.
Yes. I know. I was going to ask about it, but I decided to leave it out. But
yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Even the architecture is very nice, as I've shared with you. Like the generation of the output block, it's very good.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait. And
so
then,
we're back in 2 weeks.
What's 2 weeks? Calendar.
13th, 15th. If I can do math, there's only 6 days in a week, right?
I'll be out that day.
All right.
Do we want to do 22nd?
Yeah.
I'll be around.
Do a little pre-holiday session.
Yeah.
All right. 3 weeks out. Doing offensive Lua again.
Yeah, let's do Lua.
Well, I say again. We haven't actually done it yet. All right, offensive Lua.
Offensive Lua it is. That'll be awesome.
Should be a good one. I dropped the
the
repo, so there's a lot of interesting things. We'll
Yes.
have to drop in like an Aurora agent, see what happens. Just let it rip.
Oh, yes. That'll be cool.
I have 22 days to write Sigma rules. Okay.
Yes.
Just start burning through it.
The first one's going to be offensive Lua has a who am I? That's our first
Hold on,
one.
wait. There's a run command. I don't see a who am I, so I'll push a PR for that to the repo.
What? I thought he...
Yeah, there's no who am I. So what do you even do with that?
I'm appalled. I thought he had it in here. Hey, it's right
I
here.
didn't-
Oh,
oh,
who am
oh, is
I?
it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
How am I?
How
Yeah.
am I? Oh, okay, there we go.
Nobody ever asks, how am I? But who am I?
Top tier.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to play with this one. That's great.
Great. So another language I'm gonna have to go learn how to read. Phenomenal.
Yeah, good luck.
At least it's
Thank
not
you.
Perl.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Catch you.
Thank you
December
again, Nas.
21st.
Appreciate it.
Same time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nas.
Thanks. Bye bye.
See you then.
Ciao, ciao.
Have a good one. Boom. Buttons.